All right, Johnny's an advocate. He's speaking out. He's trying to make changes, trying to make things happen, man. He's got an appointment with the president of the Caja. How do you even get that appointment, by the way? And what's he going to be talking about? We're going to get to all that in a minute. It's going to be pretty interesting, I think. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd appreciate it. You want to see videos, put them up, hit the notification bell. And guys, if Costa Rica's on your radar, but you're not quite sure, we got a brand new relocation retreat. It's in my town, La Fortuna. 6-day event, man. It's going to be great. We got basically all the same speakers. He's one. He's a speaker. And it's at a great freaking hotel, man. It's going to be awesome. And I would love to see you there. My favorite thing is like talking to you guys around the pool or having drinks at night or whatever. So anyway, all that info is in the link in the description below. You guys recognize Johnny, right? He's our medical dental tourism guy. He's the one that gets your breast augmented.
And dental.
Yeah, dental. I forget about dental. I got my braces through him. There's liposuction and stem cell therapies and hip replacement stuff and all kinds of implants, all that. He helps you through that, hand holds you through it. But that's not what we're talking about today. This is interesting because, well, the story's interesting. That you've got a meeting with this lady, and we're going to walk through what you're doing. So if you guys don't know, the Caja is a socialized medicine here. And why this is important to you is because as a gringo that you get your residency here, you have to pay into the Caja. And so Johnny is trying to work with the Caja to maybe, let's say, streamline it a bit where it benefits everybody. And well, I'm going to let him explain it. So first off, tell us why you decided that the Caja maybe needed revamping, and then walk us through the process of you getting to get speaking to the powers that be, because that's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all.
All right, let's go with the why first.
Okay, why? I'm in the belief if I were selfish or it's just about me, I would leave it alone, because it's in my benefit for people to use the private healthcare system.
We've been a little selfish with the beer. I thought we were going to get. Never mind. Go ahead.
I shared with you.
I'm just playing.
So that's one. You know what? I should leave it alone. But the humanity of anybody that's in healthcare, you take an oath of as doctors or as people in healthcare should help one another, and that's where it stemmed from. I see the need in being in healthcare for so many years, and take care and seeing the healthcare system how it could be stemmed. And then when you're doing research, you find out so many things. So recently, where it stemmed a lot from it, and I'm going to back up a little bit, is that right now in the hospital system in Costa Rica, 60% of the beds occupied in the hospital are seniors right now in 2024. And it's estimated that by 2040, 2050, that 25% of the population here in Costa Rica is going to be seniors. Having that said,
25%?
25% of the entire population, it will be seniors. Not just expats, but also Costa Ricans, because people are living longer now. Now, when I'm talking about time frame it took me to be able to talk about these issues, the healthcare, how it's being done, it took me two years and 9 months to get to this point.
Okay, wait a minute. Whoa. Let's just step back. So what are some of the issues you saw personally? Like, let's do like an ABC or something so we can get more.
I'm glad you brought it up, Mike.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. So
let's
this is right now with the system, I have to visit an urgent care, start in general medicine, and ask to be referenced to a specialist. But it's done via this paper. Now, this paper takes 10 days to be able to, so I go to the urgent care. I say, hey, I need to see a urologist. They said, yeah, why do you need to see it? Well, I just recently had some kidney stones. Okay, it's a valid reason. Okay, we'll send you a reference. Come back in 10 days to pick up your reference. I come back in 10 days to pick up my reference. And I have to wait on the list because you can only see the specialist to sign this piece of paper on certain days of the week. So if I pick up my reference on Monday, but I can't see the specialist to sign the piece of paper till Thursday. So when I see him on Thursday, then I can take that piece of paper and go to this window, and then they give me an appointment, which could be 2 years from now.
Okay, so obviously you're talking about streamlining that process, which is way too much red tape.
Too much red tape when this can be done via digitally because they have the platform to do it and create the advice system was designed to be preventative.
Well, this is another video. What's advice?
Advice is the urgent care. The urgent care where you go get your general medicine done. It's the first line in the healthcare system before you go to the hospital or see a specialist. Now, in that first portion, when you're getting this done, it's supposed to be preventative. But right now, it is just referencing all its work to the hospital. So it's not working in the preventative section only for a certain point.
Okay, so one thing you saw is streamlining a process. What else?
Streamlining a process to create preventative healthcare and healthcare that cures, which is the design. The device, which is the urgent care, is preventative, and the hospitals or the regional hospitals, which is the cure. That's where they fix things. This preventative side is referencing everything to the hospitals, bogging them down, and now the hospitals are doing the preventative health care there.
Okay, so is that the only issue?
Well, there's a slew of other issues. It's the whole right now inside the digital system when they have when you're looking at appointment, it just says general medicine. It doesn't even say what you're going to be referenced for. It just says you're going to come in to see a general doctor. It doesn't even give a diagnosis in there. You have to have, so people that are prepping to do preventive medicine don't even know what you're coming for. You're just coming to the device and showing up and telling the doctor what's going on. You can't project, trend, or move anything unless you have a platform that they already have to trend something over a period of time. When that snowballs, you have a bigger entrance of patients and a small funnel that they exit. You're always going to bog down the system in the hospital. So what I'm trying to do with the president is that to focus, to change the model and move the specialists that are in the hospitals, move them to the advice system and have the preventive health care as a full there with the machines, with the ultrasounds, so you never get to the hospital. That helps the system at later future, in the future, so you never have this bogged down, and it helps surgeries and everything, unless the hospital concentrate on what it's supposed to do is cure a person.
Now, how do they not know this?
I think, like any company, they have had growing pains, and over the 80-something years that they've been in giving health to everybody, they've grown so big that those growing pains haven't allowed them to, the operational has gotten ahead of them. They haven't been able to, they do short leaps, but they still get bogged down because they did a model when the country was smaller, not when this country was bigger.
So they're always doing catch up.
They're always putting out fires. You can't, right now it's a reactive system.
So are they trying to, it almost sounds like they're trying to slow the process.
It's a filtering way of doing things. I guess in a sense, yes. In a way, but if you work, that's why I'm advocating and talk with this president to show this is what you can gain from this and then fix these other problems. Right now, the other thing that they're having an issue with is they don't have enough specialists to handle this whole population. But if you have the preventative system in place, they would never see these specialists because they prevented the problem before it would happen.
Well, I remember I got an ultrasound and I had to come on a Tuesday because that's when he came. And I remember one time with the dermatologist back in the day, they came to Fortuna once every 2 weeks or once every week,
Right.
and and all the appointments are all that day, and that's the only days you
That's
can get
it.
it. And so, I mean, yeah. So
So what I'm proposing to them is to put modules inside the digital system to start filtering these impending problems that could face the hospital in the future, but at least prep them so they have a database to be able to support. Hey, you know what? I need funding for this because this is a trend that's going to happen for the future. If we don't do that, what will happen in the future is that we're going to have a health pandemic, not because of somebody dying, but because we have so much in the system and it's going to be bogged down and people will pass away
because they won't get to the
because they won't
get to the specialist.
They won't get to the specialist because it was so easy. Because if you get this tumor at this stage, you can get rid of it. But when at this stage, you're gone. And this is for all Costa Ricans, expats, everybody. If you can have a system that digitally starts managing the population for its future, you're going to have a good healthcare system. And then at the end of the day, it also saves them money because you don't have to have these big operations. You don't have to have these ongoing treatments because there was medicine that was preventative. That, hey, you know what? These classes are for, you can't have this much exposure. You can have, hey, you know what? This Michael, he works out in the field and he's always using a lawnmower. He's got hearing protection. If you start preventing things from happening, it'll help you in the future.
Well, prevention is key to everything. But a lot of times, I mean, look at the States. They don't even try to prevent anything. They almost want you. They want you from cradle to grave on medication and
dependency on a drug. We weren't born to take drugs. We were born to live and to live good. But if you're doing it in a preventative, not a reactive mode, you'll gain so much more, and the population itself will be healthy. They'll be wanting to do things. There'll be more people contributing to the system because they'll be able to use it. And then the other thing too is that right now it's difficult for an expat to use a system. You get on there, Mike. I can get on here right now and look for an appointment, but it'll say, you know what, it's not available. I have to do a special what do you call it? The little hooks.
the little hook.
The hacks.
The hacks, yeah.
So right now in Edos, you open it up.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Edos is the digital platform for healthcare here in Costa Rica. So when you log into the digital platform for healthcare in the Caja system, the socialized medicine, you open it up, you choose general medicine, you choose that you want to consult for it. It gives you 10 dates. You choose the last date in the section, and 9 times out of 10, it's available. But people always choose the first one or the second one, and it doesn't come up. And then you also do this.
Well, let's not convolute this. So, just navigating the system itself could be rough for somebody that's not really in the know.
Mike, it's rough for me that I know the system, but I've had to hit my bumps and bruises during the system to know, hey, this is the best way to work because I've experienced it myself. I've been using it. But that's why I have this paperwork to show her that, hey, you know what? You're spending money on this piece of paper, on this personnel. We can redirect that personnel to another section to help the population and streamline this. Right now, it's just like, oh, I have to go to a person so they can write an appointment for me. No, you have a digital system that you can that can be done all on its own without needing somebody to push paper.
Is this the major issue, or are there other issues as well?
Well, other issues is that the devices, some of them open from 7 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What does that do?
That makes people go to the emergency room at the hospital.
Correct. Some areas, the device stays open longer, but till 10 at night. Some people can do that. But when you're in a greater metropolitan area, they close at 4, and then they refer all this business to the hospitals. They get bogged down. And then the other thing too is that they have seniors. If you ever go to an emergency in the afternoon after 6 o'clock, somebody comes home, they need to pick up the senior, and they take all these seniors to the emergency room because people are working during the day. So you bog them down with everybody that couldn't go during the day but go at night, and then you have people that were working all day that bring seniors to the system now. And then seniors have priority over everybody else, and then they move all this, and it just slush. It could be so much better if they just change one portion to be preventative.
I think this is why most people try to keep their insurances and stuff in the States, or even go back to private doctors, or even go to private doctors here.
Yes, they do. And it's a good idea to do a hybrid situation, that those of you that qualify for Medicare, to have your Medicare in the States, and then you have your Caja here. If something happens here, that you can go back in the States. But you know what? I've had people that are even on Medicare saying it's even being tough. Medicare is being tough in the States that are not covering the things that they used to cover for.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's not like the United States has a very good healthcare system either. Maybe one of the worst ones, actually.
I'm with all this is that we all plan for our retirement. I make a month. I got $1 million, $2 million put away for my retirement, but we don't plan on being healthy or sick during that time to see if that's going to be enough. You got to prepare, take care of yourself, so you don't have those situations.
I don't know. I'm a big believer in, or at least I try to do it. That's why I continue to work out. I always eat right. I try to keep going because I've seen too many people my age that have given up on their life, and in a way, they've let themselves go physically, and they have trouble breathing, just going up some stairs, and they're going to run into some problems. And they probably need. I don't know. It's just kind of sad to watch that there's not more money and education around preventative care, for one, anywhere, United States or here, because I think that's key. But so since I don't have a bunch of money, I'm trying to keep myself, fit, or try to keep the heart rate up, do some stretches, do a walk or something, to try to, help myself out a little bit, and I try to eat right. So,
Mike, can I talk about your health a little bit?
Sure.
So those of you watching, we've done labs in healthcare with Mike. Mike is one of the most healthiest people that, on the scales of everything, he's been so healthy. It's surprising of how healthy he is. Now, I'm not saying that nothing's wrong.
I'm mashed potatoes on the inside.
But he does exercise. Mike, you do get up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, right?
I do. But I've always done that. But I think now I'm very aware of my age. There's that time when you kind of lie to yourself, probably around, let's say 45 to, for me, 55, where I can still do those things. I can still do it. I can still, until you can't. And guess what? Soon enough, you can't do these things you could do. You can't, cross the river on the rocks, and you're balancing, and you're doing these things, or some of these things get more difficult. And I'm very aware of what I can and can't do now. I'm very aware of my age. I'm very aware of, that it's probably going to get worse. That's how it kind of goes. There's always ailments coming and going. So I try to keep them at bay. But I don't know, Costa Rica, you better know what you're doing if you have some ailments, and navigating the Caja or the system or whatever you're going to do, because I don't have private. If something has seriously happened to me, I can't afford to go private. I can't now. I guess I can do. I am on Social Security now, and I guess that's.
But you're not 65 till next year, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's Medicare, right?
Right. Medicare is at 65.
Okay,
so next year you'd be qualified for Medicare. But but Mike, I'll tell you, and just briefly, when people are applying for residency their first year or in the first 9 months, they have to plan for their health care. They can't come down here and expect they're going to be on Caja system because you're
Well,
not.
you're not.
You're not. You're not. You're going to be on your own, and being on your own means getting travel insurance if something happens during this time, or having a private insurance. Because if you don't do that, you're putting yourself out there. Now, Mike, they're not alone. If you get into trouble and you have an issue, the healthcare system here will take you. You will have to pay something, but they will bill you, they will take you, but you don't want to start with that situation of owing that much money because in the Caja system is actually more money per day than in the private. Now, you can spend between $1,800 and $3,500 even in the public sector. So just sitting in the chair. The other day when I was sitting in the chair for the kidney stones, that would have cost me 800,000 colones for 6 hours.
800,000 colones is $1,600.
Yes.
Your math is getting better.
Yeah, it got better.
It was pretty bad at the store today.
It was store today, yeah.
That was pretty bad. I don't know. I think, people, again, we're getting older. And if you don't realize you're not getting old, I mean, there's just so many sad stories. And, the grace period when you don't have anything. And, that accident doesn't know that you have insurance or don't have insurance.
No.
They don't care if you're in a grace period.
No.
And things can still happen. And people just don't plan. You're hoping you get lucky, right? You're hoping, well, let me save some money.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to spend money, what better way to spend it is on your health, because everybody knows without health, you got nothing. You literally got nothing. You could have $7 million. If you don't got your health, what? You're
as poor as that person that has all his health.
So now when I was 45, I would probably been that one. Hey, I'm gonna roll the dice. But and maybe I got a little lucky, but you don't always get lucky.
You're not gonna roll sevens all the time.
No,
right?
you're not.
Sometimes you're gonna break, and something's gonna happen if you don't prepare for it. You don't come here, and don't blame the country, don't blame the system. Don't blame anything but yourself.
Yeah, and I also just shout out again. It's very commendable that you've been keeping at this, because anybody that tries to work in, let's say, government or bureaucracy knows, there's a lot of doors shut on you. Yeah, fill out this paper. Yeah, set that schedule. Yeah, we're going to talk to you. I'll usher you in, usher you out. Oh, thank you, Johnny, for your time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was great, man. And they're hoping you're done. But no, you just keep going. You're pit bulling them. Keep going at him.
Mike, I wrote the presidential probably over 200 to 300 emails. Okay, I wrote
you're like a stalker.
The congressman. Yeah. Well,
in a way,
it's important to me that
you're heard.
Yeah, that because a lot of people that are moving here, they're never going to be able to vote. I have the unique ability that I can vote, and that I'm a citizen of this country, along with being a U.S. citizen, that I have a voice. But I'm only one person. I'm not part of this health system, because if I would be part of this commerce or health commerce, it's not in their best benefit to help the system be right. But it's the right thing to do for those that are human in this world.
Yeah, I hope it works. I'm kind of pessimistic on government bureaucracy anyway, not just Costa Rica, but pretty much anywhere. Sometimes I think they're just shining you on. Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Well, yeah, we're going to look into that. Oh my gosh, this is a great suggestion.
Well, Mike, I'm going to tell you this. I will not stop until something changes.
You heard it here first.
Not stop. And because you can't have somebody come to a country and not have ability to apply, because when you were here early on, you were able to voluntarily pay into the Caja and get the system when you first came here. They took that away about 5 or 7 years ago, that you can pay into the Caja and not be a resident.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Because I was going to make a video, but I wasn't sure if they were still doing that or not. But you used to be able to not be a resident and still pay into the Caja.
Right.
They don't do it?
No. They changed.
Are you positively sure?
I'm 100%. They changed the law, and then the law
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wish
I'm getting my head started. Why?
they changed the law, but they changed the law that now under a refugee status you can get the Caja and work here, but it changed so it excluded another group that you can't. And I'm trying in that same meeting to bring it up to, hey, you know what? This needs to be in place for people that are getting residency to be in the system. That if something happens, at least there's something coming in, not zero.
I would like to know for the people, usually if a lawyer or you're putting in for your residency, I would say most people get it because the lawyer would say, okay, we don't have this paperwork or you have a felony. I mean, you wouldn't even be applying. So I'm assuming that it's got to be 95% of the people, let's say gringos that apply for residency get it. So if that's true, which I'm thinking I got to be close. Why don't they just start the Caja? Like, okay, they finally just started streamlining the driver's license.
Yeah.
That just happened, right? So why don't they go, okay, we don't really know what your Caja is going to be yet, but everybody's 150 into the Caja.
Well, Mike, you have to put when the residency.
No, I mean, okay. Okay, let me just finish my thought real quick. So what? Okay, you're applying for residency. You got your little golden ticket. Says you're in the process. I think you should already start paying. So to me, you should already start paying like let's say it's just a straight 150.
Yeah.
Until they figure out until you get your residency, and then it can all get figured out. I mean, they're leaving money on the table
for sure. But Mike, you know that there's two ways that you apply for residency here. Initially, for lawyers, lawyer can apply for you physically via the physical form or digitally. If you apply via the physical form, it's 9 months before they see your paperwork. If you apply digitally, they see it within the first 3 months, and usually by the ninth month, it's already approved. So if your lawyer applies physically, you have 9 months that you're going to wait regardless. If you apply digitally, it's 3 months, and usually by the ninth month, you're approved. So that's very key when people are applying. Ask for the digital portion if you apply. I think there's only one category, and Andres will probably can concur with this. There's one category that you can't do it that way, but the rest of the categories you can. Applying residency digitally. That means that they upload the documents all digitally instead of physically taking them in.
Yeah, which is what they normally.
Right,
do.
But that delays the system. And then what you're saying, they would have to change that system when they put it in manually, that you put in your paperwork to get residency for this Caja. They got to change that. So that's why when I'm talking with the president of Caja, we have to change things to streamline in such a way that it benefits both the people coming here and Costa Rica as a whole when you're doing something.
This is why we talk to Johnny, guys. If you got health questions or actually the medical dental stuff, this is your guy. You can go to travelcostaricanow.com, scroll down a little bit. There's a little quick form about the dental medical tourism stuff that he does. But if you are getting your residency, you have some questions about insurances and what you should do before you come here or all that kind of stuff, he's probably still your guy. You can tell he knows what he's talking about, right? Johnny, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, I'm Michael Allen, travelcostaricanow.com. Thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research in this Costa Rica. I'm going to put my videos up with anybody's. Johnny?
Whatever.